of my PDF import video. Okay, the reason why there is a part two, because I forgot in the initial video, if you watch that, that I actually do have a way of getting in the class features, the feats, and the racial features. I just forgot because it's been so long since I used this. And as I explained in the first video, you shouldn't be using this because the detail adder way of doing things is a much more comprehensive way of creating your token, your PC token. But hey, if you are forced for whatever reason to use the PDF method that we're talking about here, then got you at least partially covered. Let me explain this. The way the importer works is it's only good as the input data. And as you can see from here, the input data is kind of slim pickings. It doesn't say much about this spell source. Each sorcerer has a spell source. Wow, that's not very helpful. Okay. So I mean, yeah, it's all it's going to do is import these as the descriptions for each macro, for each effect based macro. But hey, it's better than nothing. When we are importing these, we can add stuff from the compendium. For example, say you want to look up nimble reaction in the compendium. You can do that. And when that power editor field comes up, that form comes up, you can actually add stuff to the effect text field or whatever you need to. Change it into whatever you want. This is just to start the process for you. I'll show you what I mean. So what we've done is like the last video, we have selected all the text here. So we are going to copy that and get it onto the clipboard for pasting into Vanny right here. Into notes, like we did before. So that's all set up. Now what we need to do is simulate the fact that we don't have any of these macros on the library token. So tell you what, let's get rid, intentionally clear group here. Get rid of all the class features, all the feats. There's only one, but if there were more, it would kill the whole group. And the free no. Clear group. So this is a disaster. Oh no, we have just lost half our macros. But as I explained, this is the lesser half. These macros are not really that important. They're good for telling the DM, okay, I have this feat and this is the description for it and all that stuff, but not critical like these main macros are. These are all your powers. These are what you're going to be using in your game session. So those are important. So this is the detail adder version, the original detail adder version of the token, which you should be doing. You should be using the detail adder process, which we'll talk about in the next video. But for the heck of it, for a lark, we'll do the PDF for now. So another thing I wanted to explain, which I didn't really explain in the other videos, the next one or the previous one, is it's okay to do the F4 on your character anytime. You don't have to start from scratch. In fact, don't start from scratch if you're leveling up. Vanny is now level 1. When you level up to 2, this goes for both the detail adder and the PDF, or a combination of either, doesn't matter. It's flexible. It will upgrade, see the stat sheet on the lower left? It will upgrade all of those, well, update all of those stats in your properties. No problem. And then from there, it will only do the new macros that it needs from your new level that you've retrained in or what have you. It won't rehash, like, it won't make you go through importing Lightning Strike and Stormwalk and Chromatic Orb and Whirlwind and Second Chance. Because it sees that you've already got those and it says, well, I'm not going to do those again. And it'll just skip those for the checklist. Let's actually try it right now. It won't do them any, like, because for example, right now what's going to happen is this is the whole PDF in here. Everything. But this macro that I'm going to run for you now is specifically targeted for just doing those 3 groups that we erased at the beginning of the video. We cleared. So let's give it a try. We go to Frankenstein's lab and we see import features from PDF. okay. And we come up with a checklist. And it specifically targets those three things that we looked at in the PDF, these three groups that we have here: feats, class features, and race features. And even then, I think it's missed, it's missed like three class features or something like that. But don't worry about that. So we'll say okay here. Processing 6 entries, sure. And it starts with the feat. Again, as I said, if you want to bring this up in the compendium and the IWX site and add the effect text, I don't know why it's got his name in there, we'll get rid of that. That's cool. Then paste it in here. More description for what Seasoned Veteran Feat does. And we can go from there and look at the other fields. It's all the stuff like the target, it's all going to be personal, ACU, and no attack. Because, well, actually, I think there are some feats that do attacks, but I doubt it. So there we go, and you can change the flavor text if you want to, because of the many things the PDF doesn't include is the flavor text for each. So this is very primitive compared to the detail adder way of doing things, which is why you really got to do the detail adder unless you're forced to do all this stuff. So notice this is a racial trait, some default flavor text there. And it doesn't even, see, this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't even put any effect text in here. Let's look at bold. Racial trait. See, it didn't even put this in. +5 to saving throws versus fear. So what we can do is even take that. Actually, I don't know why it didn't put that in. That's kind of strange, but or wait a minute, I do know why. It's because this doesn't have a capital in it anywhere. It erases all the text before the first capital. And there is no capital here, which is why it erased everything. That's just the way the importer works. It thinks anything before the first capital is not important, so it gets rid of it. I might try and finagle that a bit, but anyway, you see what I mean. It's better to actually do it from the compendium, as I explained. So we're going to keep importing. Second chance. Now this did work. We did get the effects text here because Y is a capital. See how that works? So it says, okay, that must be important. So it got the rest of it. So that's good. Say okay. Again, it doesn't have anything to work with, so it does what it can. And here we go again with the capital. A is the first capital of that sentence where the nimble reaction racial thing is done. That's not a capital. The +2 is not a capital. And yeah, so goes for the first capital and the rest of the phrase that we have there. So let's just go through these. It'll go through. And basically what this is doing is it's just giving skeleton macros so we can go through the append RE block, which we'll learn about in the macro macro management video. And here we go again with this is called the finish import macro. That goes through and does some housekeeping on your token to finalize how it behaves. So if you want to run status at the end of your turn, then sure. It'll prompt, so you can say no if you want to. And there's the bell. And we look at the output, and that's what it's done. And we look at the library token, and we see it only got 2 of the class features, but we knew that was going to happen. And it got some of the racial traits. That looks good there. And it got the feat as we imported it. So once again, open these and edit them. And you can even add, you can even type in here if you want to. No problem. And flesh those out a bit more. Again, this is if you're forced into the PDF way of doing things, which hopefully you won't be. And that's how we finish off a PDF import. Thanks for watching.